Hello everyone, it's Cameron and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different here. But today we are going to be going over not vinyl or CD, but we're going to go over my cassette collection. Now this is a little thing I've just started over the last couple of weeks. I've started collecting cassettes. I don't know what kind of even started, but I got a player, a little CD player that came with a tape deck, and I thought if that tape deck works, then I'll definitely start getting them. And I had a few, but before, about 4 tapes. Before up to now, but now I've got maybe a bit more than that, so I'm going to go over them what I've got so far over the last week. They all just slide out like this and you can all see them. I'll just talk about each tape and tape by tape, and just kind of go over them. Now, I know these are not everybody's favourite music format, but they were a big thing back in the 70s, 80s and even into the 90s, until they kind of hit their decline in about 2000s, and then eventually after kind of 2005 the cassette was basically what's the word I'm looking for? It was basically kind of non-existent. Well, maybe not non-existent, but before the format became obsolete. That's the word, obsolete. So yeah, just going to go over them, talk about each tape and basically whether I have them or not and what I make of them. So yeah, and what they are basically. So I'm going to start off, first tape, they're all in alphabetical order, but I found this one in a charity shop in Irvine, the Beatles' Rubber Soul. Now of course I have this on vinyl and CD, but now I have the cassette. So yeah, this one is a later issue, I believe. It's not the one from the 70s, because the original one from the 70s often rejigged the track listing. This is the original track listing, and it pretty much stays true to the original LP from 1965. But yeah, brilliant album, pretty much, you know, one of the Beatles' underrated albums from their catalogue. So yeah, really pleased to get this one on cassette as well as vinyl and CD. So there's that one, Rubber Soul. This one I found in my record shop along with the next few. Bob Dylan's Greatest Hits. Have this on vinyl and CD, so of course can't go wrong with the cassette. I mean, Bob Dylan, one of the most underrated songwriters and distinctive songwriters of our time, really. So yeah, what more can you say? There's all the songs on the inside. Of course, say this is the UK edition, which I have on LP and CD, because I know the American version when it came out in the 60s rejigged the track listing. But yeah, this is the original. This is I think it's a later copy of the UK cassette, but still really nice to have. Found this one in my record shop as well. Now this one I don't have a copy of in any format. This is the first time I'm really owning this album. Bob Dylan, Under the Red Sky. This was in 1990, this album. It was the follow-up to the Oh Mercy album. And there's the inside as well. I'm probably not going to show you them all, but that's just some examples there. So yeah, hopefully I'll get this one on vinyl or CD someday. But yeah, hopefully it should be a good album. Here's one of my favourites, which I have on vinyl and CD. Really one of my favourite artists, The Best of the Everly Brothers. And this is the 1964 compilation. I think it's a later copy of the cassette. But this has the Cadence tracks re-recorded, but still really good like compilation. I really enjoyed this this album. It's probably one. This was the album that kind of really got me into the Everly Brothers and made me kind of fall in love with their music. When I bought a mono vinyl copy, which was when I was about 15, so 8 years ago now. And this was the first tape I tried out when I was really heavily collecting cassettes, and the sound quality is really good. The sound quality of these tapes are actually not bad. I know they were very kind of, they didn't last as long, because sometimes the machine, your player would often like chew up your tape, which is never a good thing, which is probably every cassette collector's worst nightmare. Sometimes was when your machine chews up your tape, but mine have managed to survive, at least fingers crossed so far. And I know that the sound quality often wasn't as good as a vinyl or CD, but I think they were okay. Buddy Holly and the Crickets, the collection. This is a double play cassette. Of course I have the double LP of this. This is a 1987 compilation. Found this one in my record shop with the 2 Bob Dylans and the Everly Brothers tapes. So yeah, of course, Buddy Holly, one of the greats who we unfortunately lost way too soon in my opinion. But yeah, do really like Buddy Holly. Really good tape that. Oh, Jean-Michel Jarre, Zuluk. Now this is a bit of a odd tape. It kind of goes kind of the cover art is like up like that. A lot of them, if I show the Beatles one, it's like that way, the right way up. But this is kind of a funny thing where it goes all kind of sideways. But still really interesting. I don't know this album too well, but I do have it on vinyl and CD. This was 1984. But I do know some of the tracks from like compilations and like some of John Michel's live albums. So yeah, that's interesting album. Intriguing cover art. Next one I have on vinyl and CD, Revolutions, 1988 album. Again, I know this from like some of the live album, live Docklands Jar Live album. So should hopefully hear the album as well. I do have it on vinyl and CD, so I should definitely need to give it a listen. So yeah, really cool to own that one on tape. Found that in an Irvine charity shop. These four I got in my Saltcoats record shop. Elton John, A Single Man. Of course, have this one on vinyl. 1978 album. This is probably the oldest tape I have, I would say. It's a very early one because it's got a sort of paper label on the cassette. So yeah, I know Song for Guy, which is a really great instrumental. Yeah, nice cover art as well. I know you never got like fancy artwork with cassettes like you did with like the vinyl, because a lot of the gatefolds and pictures aren't always in like the inside of the cassette, but still. Sleeping with the Past, 1989 album. Not a bad album, actually pretty good album. Got this one on vinyl and CD as well, so now I have the cassette of it. So yeah, not a bad album. I liked Sacrifice, which was a great one. Blue Avenue, Club at the End of the Street. So yeah, not a bad album from Elton's later period. I'd like to get a Greatest Hits on cassette as well. The One, probably one of my favourite, Elton's most underrated later albums, 1992. Again, got this on all three. It's a really, really great album, so yeah, really good to have that on cassette. And then Made in England. This came out in 1995. Only have this one on CD, so because I know the vinyl, I think it might have come out as a reissue just recently, so I might need to get my hands on the reissue. But I know I've got it on the CD, but I would like it on vinyl as well. But I really like the track "Believe," but the rest, and the title track, but the rest of the album I've yet to hear. So yeah. I've got the CD single of this, but I don't know why I'm showing it anyway, but it's Elton's Candle in the Wind 1997 remake when he did it for Princess Diana. I know this is something that a lot of people would like to forget, but you know, it was of its time, and you know, people bought the single and it went to #1 on the charts, and I can't take away the accolade of it being the biggest selling single in the UK, but you know, I think a lot of people kind of don't really like to remember that one too with much fondness, but it is what it is, you know. And I do have the CD single of it as well. And this one I have also on vinyl and CD. The John Lennon Collection, the 1982 compilation. Of course, all of John's solo hits. Brilliant, brilliant cassette, album rather. Of course, John, one of the most underrated, one of the most greatest writers of our time. Even his in and out of the Beatles. So yeah, you can't go wrong with having this. Now this is probably in the wrong order, but it goes with the artist I'm about to discuss. Wings, Venus and Mars tape. Have this on vinyl and CD as well, so yeah, nice to have the cassette. I think this is a later copy of the cassette because it's on the Fame label. I think it's probably an 80s, judging by the barcode in the back and the label it's on. But something really quite cool about this, it comes with this receipt. It was purchased on the 5th of May for $3.99 from Boots. And everybody knows in the UK, Boots is a very, very popular kind of chemist shop. There's loads of stores around it across Britain, and they probably sold the cassettes at some point, so yeah, quite nice. Paul McCartney Tug of War, got this one on vinyl. This is again a later copy because it's on the Fame tape and it's got a barcode at the back, but hey ho. Came out in 1982 originally. Venus and Mars was 1975, so yeah, for that. Paul McCartney, Pipes of Peace, 1983. Have this on vinyl with the correct cover, which is, of course, this one. That picture is the original cover, but they changed it for the cassette version for some reason. Also got it on CD as well, so I got it on all three. This is one of the early cassettes I bought about 10 years ago from a charity shop, and just I just bought it because it was cheap and I'd like to have it, but I wasn't really. I told myself years ago that I would never get cassettes, but I don't know what made me change my mind, is all honesty. And of course, Paul McCartney, All the Best. Of course, his greatest solo and Wings songs, so you can't go wrong with that. 1987. Have that on vinyl and CD as well, so yeah. Next, one of my favourite artists, probably my favourite artist of all time, Roy Orbison and the album King of Hearts from 1992. Again, have this one on vinyl and CD as well, so it's nice to have the cassette. Yeah, great album. Probably one of my favourite Roy albums. It came out posthumously after he passed away. Great songs like Heartbreak Radio, We'll Take the Night, After the Love Is Gone, I Drove All Night, Love in Time, Careless Heart original demo, and of course Crying, the duet version with K.D. Lang. Brilliant, brilliant album. And of course, this was I bought this at the same time as the Paul McCartney tapes and the Elton John Candle in the Wind tape. The very best of Roy Orbison. Can't go wrong with this one, can you? 1996 compilation. I have this one on CD and I play this one quite often. It was a CD I played quite often. But still really nice to have it on a cassette. Really nice if it came out in vinyl, but unfortunately by that point, 1996, it was the era of kind of CD. Vinyl was sort of phased out. No one was really kind of bothered with records anymore, so it came out in vinyl and cassette only, but still really, really great to have. Great compilation album. These are all like the re-recordings from like the 80s and the black and white night live versions, but still brilliant. Queen, The Works, 1984. Got this on vinyl and CD as well, and now I have the cassette. I found this in a market, my local market, for about 50p, which is pretty good. You can actually get these quite cheap. I've managed to be quite lucky with these cassettes. I found them for quite good value for money. So that works. This one I have on vinyl. David Lee Roth, lead singer of Van Halen. Eat 'em and Smile, 1986. Don't know this one too much because I've yet to really hear it, but we should hopefully play it sometime. So there's that one. One of the most underrated rock and rolls in my opinion, that being Del Shannon. This is Runaway, 16 Greatest Hits. What can you say about Del Shannon? Massively underrated artist from the 1960s. This is actually a Holland take from Black Tulip. And very interesting. I've never seen it before. I found it at a charity shop in Irvine last week and I thought, yeah, I'll definitely pick it up. Yeah, loads of great songs in here. 16 great hits. And even rather rarity of Twist and Shout, which is from the Handyman album. Of course, the Beatles made that song famous. There's other great rarities like The Answer to Everything, which you don't see too often on a compilation album. But there's some rather unusual omissions, like Two Silhouettes is not on here, neither is Kelly. And they're both on many compilation albums. So yeah, it's a bit odd how they're not on this tape. But still, fantastic stuff from this tape. Brilliant stuff. Love me a bit of Del Shannon. Bruce Springsteen, Human Touch. Have this one on vinyl and CD, so also have the cassette. Probably one of my favourite Bruce albums from like the 90s. Really, really great album. What can I say about this album has been said. But yeah, just a really good album. Probably one of my favourite Bruce albums of the later days, like post Born in the USA era. This is probably a rare, I don't know how rare this is, but I've never really seen it on cassette before. Bruce Springsteen, 18 tracks. This is like the highlights version of the tracks box set, which I have on vinyl and CD, this box set. But I have the tracks box set on CD, but I do have 18 tracks on vinyl and CD, I should have said, sorry. So yeah, loads of really good unreleased songs in here. A lot of stuff that you kind of wonder maybe could have made the album, or maybe were just left off as were. But really good stuff in this album, I must admit. And a massively underrated album next, Jim Steinman, Bad for Good. Have this on vinyl and CD and now cassette. The cassette order is very the same to the CD because Rock and Roll Dreams Come Through, which originally appeared on a bonus 45 on the album, appears in between Stark Raven Love and Out of the Frying Pan and Into the Fire. So it's the last track on side 1. And The Storm is the closing track, which was the prologue to the album. And Rock and Roll Dreams Come Through was seen as the epilogue. Still nice to have this on cassette though. Really, really underrated album, 1981. Yeah, brilliant stuff. This was an unusual one. The Rolling Stones, December Children's and Everybody's. This is the American album on the London label, but this is, I think, a German... Is it German? Yeah, made in Germany. It's a German import. I've never seen this before on tape, because you don't really think of it ever came out in America, but it was rather unusual that it came out on cassette in Germany. But it's also now available on the Rolling Stones in mono box on CD, and I have a stereo copy of this on vinyl as an American import. So yeah, I thought I'd never seen it before and I would pick it up because it was there. Got those in my Socket record shop, and these next ones came from the Socket record shop but on different visits. This is another unusual one. It's Simon and Garfunkel, but it's the albums Bridge Over Troubled Water and Wednesday Morning 3 AM combined onto one tape. Now, I've never seen this before. It's from a company called 747, which I don't know too much about, but it says down there, Collector's Evergreen Edition. So yeah, it's rather an unusual type. I don't know if it's official or not. I don't really know too much about it. But it's pretty much the complete albums, apart from Baby Driver and The Only Living Boy in New York, are missing on Bridge Over Troubled Water side, and The Sun Is Burning is not on Wednesday Morning 3 AM on this tape. So it's rather unusual, but still nice to have. But the case says made in Japan, so I don't know too much about this, so I still need to do a bit of research on this one. But here's a really cool one. Simon and Garfunkel, 20 Greatest Hits. Of course, brilliant duo Simon and Garfunkel. This is a 1991 compilation and it's made in Indonesia. But it's a nice cover photo. So yeah, really interesting tape there. On the Sony label. Oh, apologies for my phone going there. Here's a few Paul Simon solo tapes. One Trick Pony. Have this one on vinyl. Don't really know this album. Oh, dropping everything about her. Don't know this album too well, but I do have it on vinyl. I do know the track Late in the Evening, but it's one I kind of need to get familiar with. But there's that one. Nice to have that one. Graceland, classic album, of course, 1986. Got this one on vinyl and CD, so you can't go wrong with owning it on a cassette tape. Yeah, Boy in the Bubble, Graceland, I Know What I Know, Diamonds and Souls for Shoes, You Can Call Me Al. Yeah, just great album. And this is a really good one, Rhythm of the Saints. This came out in 1990. Again, I have this one on vinyl and CD, so nice to have this on cassette. This one, the label's a bit worn, but hey ho, what can you do? It's only a cassette. And the final one is the Traveling Wilburys Volume 1, 1988. Again, CD and vinyl, so nice to have the cassette. And the cover again, like the Bruce Springsteen 18 tracks and the Jean-Michel Jarre Zulu tape. This kind of goes all kind of sideways, which is very kind of intriguing and very interesting. So there you have it. That's it for this this video. Hope you all enjoyed it. Like, comment, subscribe. So yeah, I think I've done pretty good so far with these cassettes. And I kind of hope to maybe kind of expand it a bit more. Who knows? We'll need to wait and see. But if I get more, I'll definitely need to get myself another one of these cases and maybe another storage bit for it. But anyways, I know these aren't everybody's favourite music format, but they were a thing of their time, and they must have been quite cool to sort of have, because in the olden days you had a Walkman and you could just go out with your tape and your Walkman and the headphones and just go around wherever you needed to go and you could take your music with you when you left the house. I know you obviously probably had like players in your car, but if you didn't have a car, it was very convenient to own a little Walkman and have these with you. which nowadays people do this on their phones with like the Spotify and whatnot, which you know people like, and I'm sort of in the middle. I do a bit of that, but still nice to have these. And hope you enjoyed this. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you for the next video.